Welcome back. something on my body just cracked. I don't know if you could hear that in the show, but ow.
I have a question.
Yes, Nick, what is your question?
Is all
First of all, before you ask your question, welcome back to the show, Nick.
Thanks.
It's good to have you.
It's my third time.
It's freaking great, dude. That's amazing.
It's almost actually like my sixth time sitting down and recording with you, because almost every single time we've had technical difficulties, and it was really, really bad. Anyways, my question was: Is all that going to be in the podcast?
All of what?
Oh, you're right.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Welcome back.
This is the very first time we've tried to record this today.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am a one-take Tommy. I don't do things twice.
One take Tommy.
Yeah, that's me. We're here to talk about rock climbing, dude. And today is a very special day because if you're watching this on YouTube, as we say often, for those of you who aren't, just go peep real quick because you will notice the studio looks different. It looks worse at the moment. There's no climbing decor. The camera angle's a little bit different. The lighting's a little wonky, a little darker than I would like it to be. We took last week off. You may have noticed there was no new episode last week, and I know that you are hurting. But I have missed you so much.
Man, can't get enough of that voice.
Okay, but we're back. And the reason that I took a week off was because we bought a pool table. And the pool table had to go where the studio was before because it didn't fit anywhere else, literally like anywhere else comfortably. So the pool table went there. We moved the studio up here, which is just the upstairs of the same house in which it was in before. And now here we are in our upstairs studio. And if you can see, again, if you're watching this, if you're listening, I'll describe it to you in vivid and accurate detail. This table is approximately 11 miles long and 4.5 feet wide, something like that. And it weighs 1 million earth pounds.
Oh, yeah, that part is true. Liam and I got this up the stairs, just the two of us. And
Barely.
Yeah, just barely.
No, I mean, I took the entire thing apart because we just can't. We can't get this up the stairs.
Okay, well, still in pieces, I guess. We got up the stairs, and I, at the end of the night, had a broken back, and I had lost a pound in sweat. So that was me a week ago.
Yeah, you could always just call your friends.
We did. Everyone was busy that particular night, but it was fine, and we did it, and we're here. But, seriously, this thing, you can see how big it is. So you might be like, oh, it's pretty big. It is much heavier than it looks. And that's all I'll really say. It's at least V9. At least. Yeah. Really
9
crimp
plus.
on the corners of it's a nice table, though.
9
we like this
B
big,
plus.
big studio table. It's too big. I'll just level with it. We're rearranging the studio is what I'm saying to you. Things are changing here. Vertical Thoughts. Hopefully next time you see us, things will be a little bit more settled. The lighting will be a little bit better. We'll have some climbing decor. You can see the camera angle might have changed a little bit, but we're figuring things out. The most important thing is that we're here and you can hear me.
And we're here to talk about something.
We're here to talk
in
about
particular
climbing. You guessed it. We're here because...
When?
Today, right now, dude.
Oh, cool.
Every Monday at 9 a.m., kind of. We'll talk about that also. We are here today to talk about coming back to climbing after taking a break, taking a hiatus, hurting yourself in some of our cases.
Yes.
Brooke?
One for each ankle.
Yeah, or just someone like me who just... this situation didn't work. Climbing no longer made sense in my life, and so I stopped. And we'll talk about each of our stories individually. But a very frequent piece of feedback that I get from our listeners, and if you are one of these listeners and you've told me this before, I appreciate it like you would not believe. I appreciate the crap out of you. Do you understand me? You don't. It's incredibly complex. You don't understand. But I super mega appreciate you. Times at least 3. And the most, for me, awe-inspiring piece of feedback I get is when someone reaches out to me and says, hey, I used to climb and then I stopped. And then I found your podcast and now I started climbing again. And I climb every day now. Mm-hmm. And that's mind-boggling to me because when I quit climbing, it took a lot to get me back into it. And it wasn't there was never a point where I was like, I am leaving this sport. I'm not doing this anymore. But it just didn't make sense. And it took the alignment of the stars and planets for me to be like, okay, I'll try this again. I'll buy a membership. It makes sense again. And so it's very special for me to hear that kind of feedback from someone. And really, it's important to me to know that what we say here, what we talk about, the things we do mean something to someone other than myself. The show means a whole lot to me. I'm sure it does, to you guys as well. And then to those of you listening, I hope it means something to you, because I spend a lot of time doing it. So if it only means something to me, that's great. I'm having a great time, but also I hope you like it. And I just thank you to everyone who has given us feedback. We want to talk a little bit about that.
Those are really awesome moments too. Like when something comes through like a DM on Vertical Thoughts, and Liam and I are sitting on the couch together, like at the end of the day, like about to go to bed or something, and watching Bob's Burgers, or we're watching Bachelor in Paradise, and like a DM comes through on Vertical Thoughts, and we'll sit there and read it together, and then we talk about it for a while after. I mean, those are really cool moments for us. So we really love to hear what you get out of the podcast.
Yeah, and it's an uphill battle getting back into climbing, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit here today. Brooke, you've talked about this before on the show.
A little bit.
Recovering from injury, and we're going to do an episode specifically on reconditioning yourself to climbing after injury. That's going to be probably within the next few months or so here. We're going to have an episode with some injuries, and we're going to talk about those injuries and how they affected their climbing lives. But today we have 3 different stories, 3 people who have each at some point in their life left climbing, be it for a long period or short period of time, and come back to it. And Nick and I actually started climbing again around the same time, right? You were shortly before me.
I think I was a couple weeks before you.
Yeah. So we'll start with you. When did you, I guess, stop climbing, or was there ever a moment when you stopped climbing?
I stopped climbing like about a year after high school, which was about 2014. And wait, was it? Yeah.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, about 2014, and I stopped climbing for about 2 years. And the reason why I stopped climbing is because I had a really close friend in high school. He was my best friend, and we would always climb together. And then he met this girl, and then just eventually stopped hanging out. And
Girls are the worst.
yeah. Kind of like we kind of pushed each other a lot, to just be better. And once you kind of lose that climbing partner, you're almost like, I don't really want to climb anymore.
Yeah, it's hard to go alone.
And I think I started climbing again, 2017?
That would have been late 2016, I think.
It was 2016. Yeah, I started climbing again in 2016. And it's actually kind of a funny story, the way that I came back to the gym, because the reason I came back is because I dropped a couple college classes, and I did not want my mom to find out. So every single day that I had these classes, I was like, all right, well, I need to go somewhere. I can't just sit in the college parking lot for an hour and just come back. Yeah. So I went to Vital because I was a regular there before, and I was decently established in the community. Yeah. And Nicole and Dylan, they were there, and basically I would just hang out with them, and then they were like, "Why don't you climb?" And I was just like,
"That might be a good idea."
So you actually just started hanging out at the gym before you started climbing?
Just hanging out with friends that worked at the gym, and then they just offered for me to climb, and I was like, you know what, why not?
Nick's autobiography coming this fall. Just hanging out with friends who work at the gym.
It's your boy Nick.
Yeah. The Nick story. So a 2-year hiatus a roughly 2-year hiatus can change everything for climbing. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
It is not like riding a bike. It kind of is. Some things you don't forget, some of the body movements and positioning and technique you keep, but boy, your skin does not know. Your skin doesn't know what a bike is.
Your skin and your forearms.
Yeah.
Don't remember that.
Yeah, your lactic acid buildup doesn't give a shit how good you are riding a bike, dude. I'm just saying. You literally, your body reconditioning yourself after taking a long break like that. Mine was I took 2 breaks actually. So started climbing sophomore year of high school out of angst, and wasn't good. And climbed for probably, I know, sick angst, bro. Me too.
Lincoln Park is my life.
Dude, I had just become so numb. I couldn't even feel you there. So I started climbing. And
Put my trust.
rest in peace, Chester
Copper pot.
Copperpot.
No, actually, he was cool.
Yeah, for real, rest in peace. It's just
Yeah.
Chester Copperpot's a really funny name.
I just love that name.
Chester Copperpot. Okay, so
Here come-
started climbing.
Here come hate comments, though.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah,
We
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
I didn't mean to laugh as hard as I did.
It's just funny.
It's just
Alliteration's
a good name.
fun. We're having fun. It's a great time.
Welcome back to Vertical Thoughts.
Is it an
truly.
alliteration if it's a CH and then just C?
I don't know, but Chester Copperpot feels. Maybe it's not alliteration. Maybe it's just like poppy syllables, like Chester.
That's where the real hate comments are going to
Copperpot.
come from. Him saying an alliteration.
Actually.
Yeah,
All the language people are going to be, no.
you actually have to like joust me if you are going to leave a hate comment right now. Before you can comment, you have to duel me.
Yeah, if
In a
you
joust.
win in the jousting duel, then
a verbal
comment away.
joust. If you think you can repartee with the master,
What do you mean, dude? Chivalry's dead.
chivalry.
I hardly even know he.
Great job. Way to bring it home, buddy. Okay, rock climbing, right?
Yes,
I was
climbing.
and then I wasn't good. And so I kind of just drifted away. And really, I stopped climbing actively when, kind of similar to your situation, grew up part of the LDS church, commonly known as Mormons. And if you know the church, you know that right around 17, 18, 19 area, the young men and, oftentimes young women tend to leave for what's called a mission, basically a 2-year service trip to wherever you're sent to. And so I came around that age, and my friends freaking bounced off to
Yeah.
different parts of the world.
All
And,
of them.
yeah, highly respect them for it. And they didn't all leave at the same time. That it was staggered. But finally, I was left with no or very few climbing friends. And unfortunately, during my time climbing with people that I knew, I lacked the how should I put this? The social prowess necessary to actually make new friends in the climbing gyms. So once the people that I knew personally left, I didn't have friends in the gym still. I was still just that guy that had kind of been around that seemed like he didn't want to talk to anyone. So everyone was like, I've seen this guy around. He obviously doesn't want to talk. So I'm just going to leave him alone. So I kind of ruined my chances at that point of making friends in climbing, which if you know me now, or if you have met me through any kind of Vertical Thoughts channels, seems ridiculous because I am maybe now more social than I've ever been in my
Big
life.
social whore.
Yeah, big social whore, just like he said. In fact, I'm going to get that tattooed on
Yeah.
my butt. Big social whore, BSW. But I,
And I'm going to get a tramp stamp that says property of
oof,
big social.
that's good because then if we, shit hits the fan, we break up. That could be anyone,
That's true. It's pretty ambiguous. So
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I was joking, but now
When
I'm
Vertical
serious.
Thoughts
I'm gonna
blows
do
up,
it.
I feel like people are going to only know you as Big Social Whore.
Yeah, that's true. That'll be interesting. We'll see
Welcome
how that
back to
goes.
Vertical Thoughts with your
With your
host,
host.
Did
Big
you just say
Social Whore.
big
when
social whore.
vertical thoughts blows up? Was that not?
It's been blown up.
It been blown.
Hey, I'm trying to tell my life story. I'm bearing my heart and soul right now.
Yeah, you're being really rude, Brooke.
Sorry.
Anyways,
Women, am I
back
right?
to my bearing.
Women.
Women. I drifted away from climbing with, again, a lack of people to climb with, really. I did kind of work in and around climbing gyms a little bit, kind of help with the front desk stuff and that kind of thing. And that was cool and an interesting perspective. And then I had an opportunity to up and move to Utah. So I packed up my car and took all my belongings. It's not much when you live at home. You kind of just have your clothes. That's like it. You have like miscellaneous crap, but moving when you're moving out of your home for the first time is really not complicated. So I just packed up, I didn't take any furniture. I didn't own any furniture. Just packed up my crap, threw it in my Pontiac G6, drove it to Utah, stayed with my aunt and uncle for a couple months, and then rented a house with my cousin. And during that period, obviously my life was very sporadic. Things were changing a lot. I tried to take my car up there. My car broke down. So I brought it back down here, bought a new car up there. I was constantly driving back and forth. Got a new job in a film company, was working in film production, and first full-time job. Had never actually really had a job at all, and then I went straight to working full-time. So I just stopped. I don't know. Somewhere along the line, climbing got lost in the rest of my life, and I felt like it was too busy, and I felt like it didn't have a place in my life any longer. Was I still a huge fan? Absolutely. I mean, I didn't follow climbing at that time at all, but I loved it. If anyone asked me, do you like to climb? I would tell them, absolutely, I love climbing. And then finally, later on, moved from the Salt Lake Valley up to Ogden, Utah. where I got a membership at the front climbing gym because actually, I've never thought about this really, but the reason I started climbing again was because I worked with a couple friends that I really liked. Sorry about the cat in the background. I worked with a couple friends. Let's just let her out. Let's just let the cat out, dude. She's gonna ruin the show. Which cat is meowing right now? I don't even know
The
which
big
one
one.
that is.
Yeah.
Let
That's
her out.
the big one.
Hop over there,
We
Brooke.
After
call
you
her
stop
Layla.
the show.
I'll continue while Brooke
Yeah, I'll be back.
frees the cat. I climbed because I had some friends that I worked with at a car dealership, and I was telling them about it, and they were like, dude, we should go. Like, that sounds cool. And so I then was given an opportunity again to share something that I love, and to them that I was good at, even though to me I was not good. And if you saw me, you'd be like, that guy's not good. But to
That's
them,
why I love taking new people. 'Cause
yeah, they had never
they're
done
so
it before.
impressed by
So
me.
even me hopping back on the wagon after 2 years and being awful, I knew how to do it. So they were like, wow, you're amazing at this. And I had a lot of fun, and they got into it, like bought memberships, and we started going frequently. And then the second time that I quit was because at that same gym, same location with the same people, my quote unquote climbing partner, who was also my life partner at the time, a female person that I was dating, nice Brooke, we broke up, and we both climbed there. So I was like, I'm just not going to climb there anymore. Pretty plain and simple. We run into each other. And then I moved back to California, and once again, things got kind of crazy. I knew the gyms down here, but I didn't know Vital existed until much later after I had moved here. Walked in the doors and was like, hey, I want to get a membership. Easiest sale of Nicole's life. She said, hi. I said, take my money every month on this day.
Take
for
my
the
money
rest
and
of
get
eternity.
commission on my membership.
Yeah.
That's exactly how me re-signing up was as well. I was just like, your boy's getting a membership today.
Yeah. I know I want to do this. So here. I never bothered with the day pass. I was like, this is a climbing gym and it's close to me. They're all climbing, no matter what climbing gym you go to, it's all rock climbing. So just go. I did try out Rock Fitness, which is another local gym, and I liked it. But yeah, you see, this is why the cat just is not allowed in here. She's a big weenie.
She just
But anyways,
wants love.
Those are my stories. Those are my. I quit. Those breaks were approximately in order. One was probably 1 year, and the other one was probably another year. So that's more or less my story. And then coming back into climbing was an uphill battle. Really struggled with it. That's it. I mean, we'll talk a little bit about why it was a struggle and what I did to overcome that struggle in just a minute here. Brooke, let's talk about your break.
Well, I've had two. I'm coming on my second one right now. One break for each broken ankle. I wrecked my right ankle in September last year, so it's September 2018. If you've ever seen our YouTube channel, which we don't really do anymore because we pour our energy into the podcast now, but there was an episode we were filming at the time I got hurt. So if you ever want to watch that video, it's good. It exists, yeah.
Many of views.
Yeah, it has the most views of any of our videos on there.
What is it at now? Like, isn't it over
I
like
haven't
200K?
looked.
No, it's
No,
not
not
near
even
that
close
much,
to
but I haven't
that,
checked
but-
in a while. It was at 10
Yeah, I
grand
haven't
last
checked
time I
in a
checked.
while.
Oh, why did I think 200?
I don't know.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's a lot more. But yeah, so that one was really bad. I didn't even walk a single step for weeks after that. I couldn't drive. My mom was picking me up at my apartment every morning to take me to work. And when she couldn't, I was Ubering. So that was a fun time. And getting back into climbing after that was super, super difficult.
Yeah.
Because once, my foot could bear weight and move enough that it was good for climbing, well, it wasn't good for falling. A big
part of climbing. If
Yes,
you're familiar with the sport.
if you have climbed before, falling is a huge part of it. When you're projecting something, I mean, you fall off of it a bunch of times. And so my foot, just a few months after I had injured it, it was fully capable of me climbing, but very low capability of being okay when I fell on it. So that really, really sucked. I could warm up fine. I could do like some climbs that were past my warm up, that were kind of challenging, but I would flash. Like I could do that. But if I wanted to work on something, I had to be absolutely sure that I would make the next move, or I wouldn't do it. because I didn't want to not be driving for weeks again, you know? And it just like,
Yeah.
it sucked, dude. I mean, it took a really long time. And also with all the physical capabilities aside, I was nervous. I was so nervous because of the excruciating pain that climbing had caused me, you know, like even just warming up for the first time that session. And my first couple warm-up climbs, my heart would be beating super fast and I'd be like kind of sweaty. And I'm like, why are you sweaty already? Like, it's a V0. Why are you sweating right now?
Dude, why is there vomit on your sweater already?
I was going to say that sounds like my autobiography. Why am I sweating already?
But already is spelled ALREDII.
Coming back from a break and getting your motivation from that is difficult when you're coming back because of an injury. You know, when you were out from an injury, it comes with all its own
baggage,
struggles, or
freaking
baggage,
dude.
Also,
bags.
I just felt so heavy
when
I came back.
I mean, definitely gravity gradually increases the longer you stop climbing.
Yep, that's it. I do think I'd probably gained a few pounds from laying around so much when I wasn't walking. And that's no excuse to not do anything physical. Like, you can still work out when you can't walk. But I didn't. So I'm sure I actually had gained a few pounds. Nothing that was that big of a deal, but I was just so unconditioned when I came back, and I felt so heavy and I couldn't breathe when I was climbing. But I just stuck with it. I knew how much I loved it, and I had missed it so much. Like sending your project, I had missed that so much. And so I just kept coming back every day, when I could. And I finally got over it, and I was climbing harder than as hard as I was climbing before I had gotten hurt. I had progressed past that point. And then it happened to my other foot. Not nearly as bad this time. The height was less than half from my fall the first time. So the injury wasn't so bad, but it actually still hurts now to this day, because it wasn't that long ago. It was a couple months ago. So I'm kind of at the tail end of coming out of my second break. It's still difficult. I'm at the same place where I can't really work on any projects because I don't want to fall off of them. But I've pushed through the hardest part at this point, I think, where I feel good when I'm climbing. I don't feel like I'm a million pounds trying to get myself up the wall. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I think it just takes a little bit more time. And I've practiced falling from a few feet.
Remember,
5
kids,
feet.
always fall on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, always be falling.
So I'm really at the tail end of it now, and I'm feeling really good. But it takes a lot of hard work, and it's really discouraging sometimes. I feel very unathletic, but you just got to push through that part.
Yeah. And this is the first time we've done something like this. So we run into some limitations today as far as time goes. So I had the genius idea of teasing you guys, You know how you guys like to be teased? I'm going to tease you right now.
You're such a tease.
So today we've used the episode because we, like I said, don't have quite enough time to go into detail about this. We're going to split this one up into 2 pieces. Oh, yeah. Yeah, today you've learned our stories, right? You know what. But next week you're going to learn the why and the how, right? How we got back into climbing. I'm going to give you some more detail. And Nick's going to give you some more detail. And Brooke's going to give you some more detail about the nuances of coming back into climbing.
Yep.
What was the hardest part? How long did it take exactly from start to finish? Why was it so difficult? The mental side versus the physical side. We're going to really dig into this a little bit more next week. Today, Today. So
Morty.
Today.
Whose man's is this?
Today you've learned.
Oh, son of a...
Whose woman's is this?
I'm so sorry. I just put my drink all over the place. I'm really sorry.
You got some on my beautiful new Vertical Thoughts shirt.
Nick.
Been going up since 2019.
Only $15.
This guy just yelled.
You can get one just for yourself.
Cut it out. Stop.
Sorry.
Stop yelling at her.
Yeah, you're about to get punched,
If
Nick.
you're not watching this on YouTube, I feel bad for you. So watch it on YouTube. But that's it for today. We're a little bit short on time, but I hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into each of our lives. And next week we're going to talk a little bit more about our journeys back to climbing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next week, same time.
Bye.
Catch you later.
Love you. Seriously. Freaking love you.
Love you too.
I love you,
Yes,
bitch.
Brooke, I was talking to you. I love you, Brooke.
I ain't never gonna stop loving you.